Hello everyone and welcome to this week's weekly wear, where I am hoping that my voice doesn't sound too annoying. I think it's mostly back to normal. I would say it's like 95% there. A little mucusy still, but we're getting there, And two, or B, I forget if I did A or B. New foundation time, yay! We've got one from Essence here. This is the new Essence Keep Me Covered long-lasting foundation. Apparently this is getting some hype on TikTok. It is transfer and waterproof and vegan, and that's all great. So let's see if it actually performs and looks great, shall we? But first, let's take a look at the details. Like I said, new Essence foundation. It is $6.99. The reviews are not great. That's for darn sure, but I did look at the reviews and it's mostly because of, at least the reviews here, because of the shade range, which, like, don't get me wrong, that's a good reason to downvote something, especially when you have this shade range of 15 shades. Yeah, it's not great, my friends, that's for darn sure. I don't know why, it just looks like it goes from light to medium, and that's about it, with maybe one or two medium deep shades thrown in. So yeah, it needs some help there for sure. This is Conscious Beauty at Ulta. It's cruelty free and it's going to give us natural looking and long lasting coverage. Super soft formula, medium to high coverage, seamlessly melts into the skin, up to 16 hours of wear. Formulated without these things. I love seeing no alcohol, no fragrance. And to use, they are of course selling some of their products, but they say for best application, sponge or brush is gonna do it. 1 pump for light coverage, 2 to 3 pumps for medium to full coverage. And then you can set with a powder. So yes, foundation time. Let's give it a go. I think this is gonna be too light for me. I had a definite hard time picking out my shade. Probably should have gone for ivory. I went for Alabaster. It's just life. I don't know my shade in Essence foundations, but here we go. I tried. So, okay. I did the rookie mistake. Don't twist it, girl. Take the cap off. There we go. Good job. I'm gonna give this a shake here. Get you guys zoomed in. I clearly have some stuff on my face at the moment. Nice little pre-period smattering of pimples. But it's mostly, you know, all healing, and we've got some textures to try out the foundation on. So let's go ahead, see how this does. Is the pump gonna work? Yes, it will. So a bit liquidy for a supposedly full coverage formula, or can be full coverage formula. Yep, this is definitely gonna be too light on me. I apologize. Listen, I don't do this on purpose, okay? It's just, it's so different from brand to brand. I try and do it based on the models that they provide, but the model did not look this light. At least not that I remember. But here we go. Here is with a brush. This is so ghostly on me, my friends. Like I said, I am sorry, but we are gonna do our best to buff this in and make it work for me. Alright, that actually did give pretty good coverage, and it really doesn't look bad. Oh yeah, no primer today, because it's day one. But yeah, I would say in my nose pores it doesn't look the best, but overall it looks really nice and light. Like if this were actually my shade, it would probably look really natural on the skin. So that's great to see. Now let's see if with a sponge it looks much different. So overall, I would say it looks about the same on both sides, brush and sponge, but I do think the sponge worked a little bit better in my nose pores overall, and it didn't really affect the coverage. So I think overall, it really doesn't look too bad. I'm gonna try and layer it a little bit, just since it says that you can layer it. Let's see if we can build the coverage where I desire a little more coverage, and just see how we can get this to look. Not bad, my friends. I mean, I think this is almost full coverage for sure, but it doesn't feel like I have anything on my skin right now. It looks and feels very lightweight, but it was able to give really good coverage, especially on my chin blemish, and just overall, I'm quite pleased. It looks, you know, for what it is, very quite natural. Very quite, is that? Anywho, yeah, this is what it's looking like. It looks and feels great, I think, so far. I'm really excited to see how it wears, though. That is what's most important to me, and I will report those results to you all at the end of the night, aka in just a second here. Ready? Ding! Hello, everyone. Good evening. It's the end of the night here on day 1 of testing, and I am certainly curious to check out my face, so hopefully, I mean, I assume you are too. I'm actually surprised it looks as decent as it does. Now, don't get me wrong, it does not look perfect by any means, but it just has that feeling that it's gonna wipe right off my face. And I did notice earlier I had to blow my nose once, and I noticed it came off a lot off of my nose, and it sure does look like that left an imprint on my nostrils, and also my chin looks strange. It looks very spotted and not great. But overall, I haven't really noticed any transfer throughout today. It has certainly felt like it's going to transfer though, so maybe the wipe test is going to look a little different. However, I don't know, I'm keeping my hopes high that with concealer and primer I can make this work. I mean, it won't be the end of the day if I can't, but overall my hopes are always high. So we shall see. Day 1 hasn't been a complete disaster. It doesn't look like it's been a complete success, but overall we're still going to keep testing, or at least I'm going to keep testing, and I will be back with 2 more days of results in just a second here. Ready? Ding! Hello everyone, good evening. It's the end of the night here on day 3 of testing, and I've got those results for you that I promised. So let me tell you about day 2. I went ahead and used my Smashbox hydrating primer, and then a brush and a second layer of foundation with a sponge, and then on top of that I made the mistake of using my Hourglass concealer, which, you know, the foundation layered well, perfectly fine, good, dandy, all of the above, but the concealer was way too dark in comparison to the foundation. Yeah, I should've, could've, would've seen that coming if I thought about it even a little bit before trying that, but that's life. You try, you give it a shot, and you learn from your mistakes, hopefully, right? So that was that. Oh well. I hoped that the rest of my makeup would hide the bad color match between the concealer and foundation, and I think it did. Otherwise, it looked fine. It felt light all day, a little bit clingy in dry spots once again, but overall I thought it looked just fine on my face, and it was lightweight once again throughout the day, but I was also being super careful not to touch my face while I was going about my day. It was a chores and work kind of day, so just filming and editing, and then getting a lot of cleaning done around the apartment here. Did 3 loads of laundry, craziness, you know, vacuuming and all the stuff that you probably don't care to hear about. But otherwise, I thought at the end of the night though, it looked good. You know, not very shiny, which is cool, and it looks like it faded semi-gracefully, definitely a lot more so than day 1. It was a little dotty and patchy on my chin once again, but overall I didn't think it looked too bad. I think the primer definitely helped, and there was just a little bit of wipe off with my finger overall. So that was promising, and it led me to believe that today we would have even better results, or at least similar results. So I went ahead and used my Skin Ink primer for a more mattifying look, and I used my Milk Makeup Concealer. I forget which, is it the Future Fluid, the new one that they have? I knew that that one was a little pale for me, so I thought the color match would be a lot better. I also went ahead and just did a layer of the foundation with a brush and a sponge, and overall I thought the results looked very nice on the skin, you know, perfectly decent anyways, I should say. Nothing to write home about, but nothing bad. And all day, once again, I have been careful not to touch my face, and I've been plenty busy with filming, editing, going out, getting groceries, all that stuff. and it has felt lightweight throughout all of that. It hasn't really felt like it's going to transfer, but like I said, I guess I was just scared from day one, and at the end of the night here, I was expecting better results. I mean, don't get me wrong, it doesn't look as bad as day one, and it doesn't look horrible overall, but overall it doesn't look great either. It definitely did the dotty splotchy thing around my chin. It has certainly faded quite a bit around my nose, and just in general, I mean, it hung in there, but it doesn't look the best. So, I mean, overall, I think you can probably tell my feelings and opinions on this foundation, but I'll give you my pros and cons list here. Starting with the pros, it is easy to apply and easy to blend on the face. I always appreciate that with a foundation. It also gives good coverage and is layerable, and for a drugstore foundation, you know, you can't always expect that you're gonna get very good coverage at all, but this one certainly provides it without making your face look super caked up, and it also is lightweight through wear. I would say those are the main pros, but unfortunately for me anyways, I think the cons far outweigh the pros, starting with the shade range, if you want to call it that. Definitely could use improvement there. It also has a not so graceful fade, especially around the chin for whatever reason. Does anyone know what causes that spotting, splotching? That's so strange that it consistently happens on my chin, but even around the nose and stuff, it just wears off quite noticeably. I don't know, that could have to do with the shade not being my perfect match as well, but overall the fade just isn't great, and also it can wipe off and transfer. So like I said, there just aren't enough pros, and I can find these pros in other foundations that perform much better that don't come with the cons. So like for me, this foundation is not. It's not for me. It's nothing awful. It's not the worst I've ever tried. But there are certainly better at the drugstore. There's certainly better for, I don't know that I can say for cheaper, but definitely for around the same price. And I just, yeah, this one just, it's just not for me. But as always, I hope the review was helpful for you guys in being able to see whether it's going to be a foundation for you to try or to love forever. You can certainly let me know in the comments down below what you thought of it, if you have tried it out, what your skin is like, and how did it work for you. Please let me and the rest of the Casserole fam know. You can also let me know if there are other foundations you want to see me test here in future weekly wears. You can also give the video a thumbs up if you found it helpful and or enjoyable. I would really appreciate it. And if you're new here, hey, hi, hello, how are you? And go ahead and subscribe, tippity tap that notification bell down below, and become a member of my Casserole family here on my channel. I'd love to have you here. And as always, I just hope you guys are all doing well. And until next time, just stay well until then. Bye!